Hey, this is James, also known as Currency Collector. I'm going to start off by showing you my currency album here. It's on Canadian, American, and foreign currency. And there's a lot to cover, so I'm going to have to cut this off into sections. Alright, so as you can see, there's so much in here to cover that I'm going to have to cut it into sections here. So I'll cut it into Canadian, American, and foreign banknotes. So I'll start off with the introduction into Canadian currency and American. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Uh, if there's any questions or anything you need to know, don't hesitate to leave a message because I'm learning things all the time. So this is a hobby. I also collect silver coins, and I'll get into that as well in another episode. So we'll start off with the first page here. So these ones here, all right, these are just reproduction notes. They're not original. The 500 is not original. All right, they're just on there simply for decorative looks, I guess you can say. We'll start off here with the last Canadian banknotes that were made out of paper. So here is the 100 we used to have, and this is from 2004. There's the 50 from 2004, and there's the 20 from the same year, 2004. There's the back of the 100 we used to have, and there's the back of the 50. And that's the back of the 20 we used to have. There's a 20, again, that's on the same 20 of the same year. And then there's the 10. And there's the 10 again with the security strip that was added later on. There's the back of the 20 here. There's the 10. And then there's the 10 with the security strip that was added right there. And that's the 5 we used to have of the last paper money. And that's the 5 from 2002. And this is from 2006. And just like the 10, they added the security strip. Okay, so this is the back here of the 5. And that same thing there. And that's again security strip right here. Now we're going to go to the series of 1970s, also known as the multicolor series. This one here has been graded almost and circulated 58 by Banknotes Certification Services Limited. Okay, and that's the 100 from 1975, the Bank of Canada. This is the 50, and those are the 20s. That's 1969. This one here is 1979. So I'd just like to show you the back of the 100. There we go. So that's what the 100 used to look like in 1975. Okay, now I'm going to just turn the page and just show you what the backs of the 50 used to look like. That's from Bank of Canada, 1975 $50 bill. And this is the 20 from 1969. Notice there's a little bit of color up here. And then 1979, the back has the serial number. In 1969, the serial number was in the front. This is from 1971, and $10. Same year, 1971, $10. And then a couple of 5s. This one here is from 1972, in excellent shape. And so was that one as well. And this is the back here of the 10. And the 5. And like there's a little bit of color up here as well. And there's the 5 from 1979. And $2 from 1974. And our last Canadian $1 bill from 1973. There's the back of the 5 and the 2, and that's the back of the 1. The last $1 bill we used to have, 1973. Now this is the Bird series of Canada. This is from the 80s. So there's the 1000, 1988. There's the 100, 1988, and then there's the 50. Now they're the Bird series for the simple reason because there's the birds on the back of these ones. So there's the 1000, the 100, and then there's the 50. Then there's the 20, the 10, and then there's the 5s. And on the back of this one we have the loon, and this is known as I would just call it the hawk, but I guess there's a certain name for this one here. The kingfisher on the back of the 5, and on the 2s that we know so well, there's the robin. It's gonna put this album back up so I don't get the glare. So there we go. Here's the 2. Now this 2 has an interesting error in it. You notice that little bit of red across the 2? That's an error. I'm just gonna try and zoom into that as best I can. Because you can see on this 2, you don't see that error where there's like an ink smudge, right? And you can see it very, very well right over here. And there's the 2s, and that's the 1 from 1973. Now I'm just gonna have to fix this album up. There we go. Alright, so these are the 2s. And then to the 1. Now, that's the backs of the 2s here and the 1. And these are some other ones that I have. I'm just going to flip the pages on these. Now, these are the 2s from the 1970 series. And the back. These ones are all sequential. So I'll let you understand this. Sequential basically means that the serial number on the back matches up on every bill. So we'll start with this one. We got 16001, 16002, 16003, and that continues 4, 5, 6, 16007 and 16008. Now these are the 1967 Centennial Bank of Canada $1 bills, and this was the only time that there was never any serial number. They only used 1867, 1967 with these ones. So there's no serial number on those. And there's a couple of other ones here. $1867, and the backs of them. A lot of collectors love these bills because of the artistry in the back. This was the back of this is the Parliament building, but the top of it, which is right up here, is no longer like that now, because the Parliament building did burn down. I forget the year, but that's the way the Parliament building used to be, back there like that. So then later on, they had 1867, 1967, but they also had the serial numbers that were later added on. So this is 1967, same bill as I showed you before, with 1867, 1967, and this is the serial numbers on them. This is a replacement note, which is the same in the United States as a star note, and there's that right up there. And you can tell it's a star note with that. And once again, those are the backs of the ones from 1967. Now this is the 1954 series. And 1954, when the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II was done on the front. In 1954, there was it caused a bit of an outrage with it looked like a devil's face that was inside the hair of Queen Elizabeth II, and it was corrected and modified in the same year of 1954. So if you can see beside the ear, see, that's the lip there, and that looks like the nose and the two eyes. So if you just kind of zoom in here, there you can see it pretty good there. The nose, two eyes, and the mouth. So this one here is known as the Devil's Face. This is by Banknotes Certification Service, and this is graded at an extra fine 45 original. And then in the same year, you notice when you look up behind the ear, there's no longer the devil's face, or what seems to be the devil's face in the hair. They modified it the same year. And never mind the 30, that's just an ink error in the bill. Okay, so it's no longer in there now. So that's the 100 from 1954, Bank of Canada. And this is the 50 from 1954, $50. And this is also the devil's face, where you can see the nose, the mouth, and the two eyes right there. And then 1954, $50 bill. And this is the modified version. That's the back of the 100 from 1954. And that's the back of the 50 from the same year, 1954. And these are all scenes of Canada. I think this is Nova Scotia, but I'm not sure. Now this is a, let me see here. There we go. There's a $20 bill from 1954. And it's a devil's face. And this is the same one, devil's face from 1954. And it's a different signature combination. You got Towers and Coyne, I believe it is. And then this one up here is Beatty and Coyne. I always kind of mispronounce that name, but the signature combination is different. And that's a modified version of 1954 $20 bill. There we go. There's devil's face from 1954, $10, in really good shape. And this is also a devil's face from 1954. That's a modified version of $10 from 1954. And that's a star note or replacement note up here beside the serial number from 1954. Now let's look at the backs of these bills. Alright, this is the back from the $20 bill from 1954 with the trees. And that one's much better shape as well with the trees. Now that's a mountain view with the trees back here on the 10 from 1954, which you can see here as well. Next is a devil's face from 1954, $5. And this one here is 1954, devil's face from the same year, and different serial number combinations again, as you can see there to there. That's the modified version of the $5 bill from 1954. Once again, a modified version, 1954. And that's a replacement note from the same year, 1954. There we go. See what the backs look like here. Finally, we're down to the twos. There's a $2 bill from 1954, devil's face. And this is a sequential, meaning the serial numbers match up. So we got 4599 and 4600. This one here is a replacement note because of the star right there. And that one there is a modified version, 1954. There's another devil's face priority. And a replacement note with the star there beside the serial number. Now let's check out the backs of the twos. Not nice. Finally, we have the ones. This here is Devil's Face Priority, 1954, $1 bill. And once again, we have another Devil's Face Priority, 1954, $1 bill. And that's a modified version, 1954, $1 bill. Same thing. Modified version, 1954. Same thing, modified version, 1954. And last we have a replacement note. So you can see right there. And an excellent shape, replacement note, 1954. And we finally have one more replacement note, 1954, $1 bill. Again, excellent shape. Let's check out the backs of what the ones look like. Well, this would be the end of segment 1 here on my currency collection. And then I'll go into the 1937, 1935, 1923, and we'll talk about the banknotes of the very early days of Canada. Anyway, this is Currency Collector, also known as James. You have yourself a great day.